What's going on, everyone? Happy Monday! Hopefully everyone is doing well and having a great day so far. It is time now for the Monday weather update for Monday, November 25th, 2024. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. This is where I do the daily weather update for the United States with all the weather happenings around the U.S. This week does feature Thanksgiving, which means this is an all-important forecast for those who will be traveling for Thanksgiving or doing Thanksgiving festivities. So, you'll want to subscribe to my channel down below, as I do plan to do updates throughout the week, especially if you're new. I've been getting a lot of new viewers lately, so yeah, please consider subscribing down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That helps me in the YouTube algorithm. Share this video with anyone you know. That also helps. Hit the notification bell to be notified of my latest videos. And, of course, leave any comments and questions down below. Starting off today with today's weather headline, we're actually going to do two things from the Weather Prediction Center. First off, that storm that I have been talking about. The Weather Prediction Center says, are you traveling this week for Thanksgiving festivities? Stay weather aware across parts of the West and the East this week. See the Weather Prediction Center and weather.gov, which is the National Weather Service, for more information. And we can see here on this map, on Tuesday, there's going to be a big mess in the West Coast. You can see rain at the coast, and then in the Rockies, and even across Nevada, Sierra Nevada, there is going to be some heavy snowfall. And this storm system, which comes on shore tomorrow, is a piece of the energy for the storm system that will impact the East Coast on Thanksgiving. And you can see on Wednesday, that storm system will be ongoing in the Rockies. It's definitely going to cause some travel issues there. There could even be some light snow, maybe in Chicago, according to this forecast. As we know, O'Hare Airport is a very busy airport any time of the year, but especially around the holidays. A lot of people will be going through there. Maybe it's where you catch a connecting flight. Whatever the case may be, there are potential for travel delays there. And then on Thanksgiving, this system will transfer to the East Coast before quickly exiting. It looks like it's going to be a little bit of a faster mover now than the models originally showed. Also, we have to keep our eyes on this. On November 30th through the first day of December, there could be a potential lake effect event that sets up across the Great Lakes. Remember that cold Arctic air I was telling you about that will come into play next week? Well, winds will be going over the lakes, and that will result in the potential for lake effect snows. And some of those lake effect snows could be rather significant. Alright, power outages today. There's still 11,022 people without power in the state of Washington. Elsewhere, things have improved greatly. Just 7,600 in Pennsylvania, and just about 1,200 in New York State, and anything else is just minor across the United States. Taking a look here at the satellite picture, we can see here moisture is starting to load up again in the Pacific, this time more south, which means more of Central California will get involved in on the next system. Taking a look at the national satellite picture, as the sun starts to set in the east, we do see there is a cold front that is coming through portions of the plains. That will come through the East Coast tomorrow. There will be some showers with that system. Hey, ahead of it, it's been a very mild day. Yes, it is in the 60s outside here. Philly has dropped down into the 50s now, but it was in the 60s earlier, and many places in the southeast were mild for today. And we can see on the west coast, clouds are already coming on shore, and when we take a look at radar, we can see there is already some precipitation ahead of this next system, which some of it will be rather heavy precipitation for some areas. Here's that next system in the east. This is a cold front that's moving through, but on the northern side of this system, there could be a little bit of mixed wintry precipitation for northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, and Maine, which is why the National Weather Service does have winter weather advisories up there, and also for the portions of northern Michigan and northern Wisconsin as well. Down in the mid-south, we do have freeze warnings that are up now for portions of Oklahoma and northern Texas. Temperatures there will get to the freezing mark. A hard freeze is likely. Any plants that you don't want to get destroyed that are in pots or whatever, or flower boxes, whatever, if you want to bring them inside, that would not be a bad idea, because it is going to get rather cold for you tonight. And you can see in the Rockies and portions of California and Nevada, winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings are now up. There is a high wind watch up for portions of New Mexico. Things could get rather windy for you. And in fact, winds could gust up to 65 miles per hour. Yeah, that's pretty serious. That could cause some power outages if you live in portions of New Mexico. And this is for the central highlands. So, yes, you do want to be mindful of that. Storm Prediction Center, all a bunch of nothing to report about today. Same goes for the Hurricane Center. Taking a look at the Weather Prediction Center, we do have a note from them, and that is there is a slight risk of excessive rainfall across portions of central California. It's a really small area. There's also a slight risk tomorrow as well. Day 3 at this time, the probability of rainfall exceeding flash flood guidance is less than 5% at this point. Taking a look at expected precipitation, we can see Central California, some heavy precipitation is expected over the next 1 to 2 days. Then that system will start to make its trek eastward, and you can see here across the Rockies, that would mainly be snow for you in the higher elevations. So there could be a significant amount, maybe a foot or more of snow in some locations. Day 3, as we head into Wednesday night into Thursday, take a look here. Yes, that's precipitation expected for the Northeast, and you can see here as we head towards the end of this forecasting period, look at these little precip blobs off the Great Lakes. That is the potential for lake effect snowfall, and there could be a rather significant lake effect snow event. Take a look at Lake Ontario here as we get to the day 7, the end of this period. Yeah, that is significant lake effect snowfall, which means wherever the jackpot zone set up, it's far too early to talk about that, but wherever they do set up could see exceeding 1 foot of snow. It is definitely possible we get one of those bands that just sets up somewhere and just dumps 2, 3, maybe even 4 inches per hour, because the winds will be cold winds going over the warm lake waters, Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, all the lakes, Superior. It is definitely possible at this time. All right, let's take a look at the latest 18Z HRRR model, and we can see as I advance this, moisture does increase on the west coast, and in the east, here's that cold front that's going to come through. There could be an isolated rumble of thunder with any heavier showers. It's not out of the question, but it's not going to be all that big of a deal. That will push through tomorrow. Things will turn breezy and cooler tomorrow in the east. Take a look here in the Rockies. You can see, and matter of fact, let's zoom in on that. And you will see that in the Rockies, things are going to get very snowy. It's going to be a long duration event, a good, at least a 12 to 18 hour period of heavy snowfall. You can see here, we're all the way at Wednesday afternoon, and the snow there starts, yes, look at this, first thing tonight, actually, is when it's going to start snowing there, and there could be a significant amount of snow. Let's take a look at the snowfall map, and mind you, this is a 10 to 1 ratio. It won't always be 10 to 1, but you can see here, there are some greens showing up, which is 12 plus inches of snowfall. Some places may even see 18 inches of snowfall in the higher elevations. It is definitely possible. All right, moving on now to the latest NAM run, which just came in, and I'll show you this system. It will continue its way east. Eventually, some of that energy will transfer east of the Rocky Mountains, and you can see here, we're coming into Wednesday night into Thursday. There is a little bit of a mixed precipitation across the Ohio Valley. Then you can see that precipitation gets a little more expansive. You can see central Pennsylvania, northern Pennsylvania, portions of New York. There is some snow. There's also some rain across portions of the I-95 corridor for the major cities. And now we're into Thanksgiving morning and getting to be about the time of the parade here in Philadelphia. The parade up in New York City, the Macy's Day Parade. Yeah, it's looking to be a little bit wet. And you can see this system will continue east and northeast throughout the day. There will be light to moderate snowfall that occurs across portions of New England. I don't think it's going to be the major event that the Euro was once promising, but I definitely think there will be some accumulating snow. You know, amounts of 2 to 4 inches, maybe 3 to 5 in the higher elevations. And let's take a look at the snowfall map from the NAM, and we can see here, it's showing just that, 3 to 5 inches of snow. You know, higher amounts in the White Mountains. That's understandable. I mean, you get way up there, like up on top of Mount Washington. Yeah, you could see higher amounts because it's going to be colder, and plus you're closer to the cloud deck. There's a lot of different reasons, but along I-95, no. you have to go northwest of Portland, Maine, would probably be the closest to 95 that sees any sort of snow. You can see even Boston. This is rain. New York City, it's rain. Philadelphia, Baltimore, D.C. This is mainly a rain event for you, and it's a beneficial rain event. It's not terribly heavy, but it's a rainfall event that we would like to see happen at a different time, but we'll take any rain that we can get. And anywhere from half an inch to an inch worth of rainfall could occur along these areas. And take a look at what the NAM's showing across portions of California. Yes, that's a 6+ inch precipitation area. Should that verify, there definitely would be some flooding concerns. In the southeast, over the next 84 hours, you can see just generally light to near moderate rainfall events between rainfall totals between that front that's going to pass through tomorrow morning and the system for Thanksgiving. You do see there are localized half-inch plus areas. It is not widespread, not like it is pretty much uniform from Pennsylvania on northeastward with that storm system. Taking a look at the European model, we're going to look at a couple things here. First off, there's the cold front for tomorrow, passes through the east, and then here comes the Thanksgiving Day storm. It does come into the midsections of the country again on Wednesday evening. I know that's Friendsgiving. For some people, it's where you go meet up with your friends at a bar or whatever. Yeah, be prepared. There's going to be some raindrops in the Ohio Valley. And the Euro is still stronger with this system, but it is starting to come to the other model guidance being a little bit weaker. And even at that, it is still showing heavier amounts in a higher elevation. Could that worst case scenario actually happen, where the Green Mountains, the White Mountains, Maine, upstate New York does get the heavier snowfall? It could happen, but I'm not banking on it. And I'll show you the precipitation amounts here on the Euro, and you'll see it is higher than what you just saw on the NAM. You can see here, there are some lighter shades of blue and even a few purple dots. Yes, that's 1 to 2 inches of precipitation, which means in places that it's all snow, yes, that is over a foot of snow. We'll still have to keep an eye on that. I'm just not sold on that idea at this time. Now, I have to show you something else in the European. Take a look at this as we head into Friday. Look at the winds that are starting to set up over the Great Lakes. There's that northwest and southeast winds. And you can see here, lake effect snow showers and snow squalls do start to set up over the lakes. We also do see something else on Saturday. Look across the Ohio Valley. That is a weak disturbance clipper system. Could be coatings to an inch of snow in places that see that, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. And yeah, it does make it to New York City, so maybe some snow showers first thing Sunday morning. If you're one of those people that's going to get up and I'm going to get up early and beat that traffic to get home, well, be mindful. There could be a few snow showers if the European is correct. And we can also see the West Coast as we head into next week. Look at this. A quieter pattern there. And then the Euro is also showing a potential system in the Gulf next week. Not really sold on that just yet. What I am sold on and continue to be sold on is a long duration cold event in the east. In other words, I think it stays cold in the east for much of next week. Maybe it's not until the end of next week till we moderate, and even at that, take a look at the longer range European. Here comes another trough, another front that comes into the east, which brings me to what the Climate Prediction Center is showing today. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Well below average in the east. If you're out in the west, above average temperatures. Taking a look at precipitation 6 to 10 days, dry for much of the country. There is potentially some precipitation from that Gulf disturbance in Texas and Louisiana, and slightly above average precipitation in the northern plains up in North Dakota, and maybe portions of Wyoming, maybe even Montana gets included. But the point there is that would be in the form of snow for you. 8 to 14 days, temperatures below average in the east and above average in the west, and 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, you can see here. Below average precipitation for a vast majority of the country. Near normal in the south with above average in Texas, and near normal and slightly above average in the northern plains. So, in a nutshell, for Thanksgiving, things will be getting quieter in the west, while that storm system, it's going to happen in the east. And it looks like the compromise between all the models that I was talking about the other day, it's looking like that's starting to become the thing that happens. Rain along the I-95 corridor. If you're in the mountains of New England, general 2 to 4, 3 to 5 inches of snow. Maybe someone in the higher elevations gets a amount higher than that, but We'll have to fine tune this again tomorrow, but that's what I'm thinking right now. And for that big travel day beforehand, the snow will just be ending in the Rocky Mountains, so there could be some residual travel delays. And O'Hare Airport, Chicago, we'll have to keep an eye on that. In the southeast, travel looks great, and on the immediate west coast, like LAX, San Francisco, Washington, Portland, Oregon, those airports should be okay unless you're flying eastward, where there may be some problems because of the system, but for the most part, I think you'll be okay. Anything that's non-weather related, of course, well, that's out of my control, but for the most part, I think the weather's going to be okay there for traveling on Wednesday, and if you're driving anywhere, just pack a lot of patience because, as you know, the roads are going to be very busy. Probably starting tomorrow, Wednesday, and then that return trip on Sunday. If you're anywhere near the Great Lakes, be mindful. There could be lake effect snow squalls and maybe even some streamers that set up. Those bands that set up over an area and continuously just snow. Don't know where they're going to be yet. We'll be able to pinpoint that with the mesoscale models as we get closer towards the weekend. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, maybe you've watched a few of my videos, consider subscribing down below. Hit that notification bell to be notified of my latest videos. Share this video with anyone you know, and leave any questions and comments down below. Maybe you're traveling somewhere for Thanksgiving, and you want to know what the weather is going to be in that town. Well, I would be more than happy to try and help you out with that down below. I will see everyone again tomorrow. Until I see you again tomorrow, have a fantastic Monday evening, and stay safe if you're in an area that's receiving that heavy rain there in Central California. See you all again tomorrow. Take care.